Morning, friends. Hope you're doing well. It is Thursday. Thursday? Yes, Thursday. We are out at the farm. Me and Dylan are out at the farm today. He's in the way back using the hedge trimmer to knock down the few weeds that there are, the few thistles. There's not many. And then we're going to take whatever's left of the cardboard, and I don't think there's much, and we are going to finish moving these wood chips. Now, there's not a lot. It's not a ton. But I can't have compost delivered until we get this pile of wood chips out of the way. So my goal for today is to use buckets to cover the one path, the one walkway that I really need to cover. It's too narrow to get a wheelbarrow down. And then to put cardboard and wood chips down with the wheelbarrow in the final wide pathway that's in between the dahlia bed and the upper raised bed. So yeah, this should not take that long. It is not in the 90s today, but it is in the low 80s, so we are already hot. But there's a breeze. It feels amazing. So I'm going to put my spooky book back on and get started moving some buckets of wood chips. Nice thing about moving the buckets of wood chips is they don't weigh anything. It's so easy to carry buckets of wood chips. So, all right, I'm going to get started, and then we'll hopefully wrap this up in under an hour. This garden, this farm, has one more week. The wedding that I'm going to be doing, the big one, next week, I harvest all the stuff on Monday evening and then go to the flower mart early Tuesday morning for the stuff that I couldn't get here. I'm hoping that our mums will be blooming by then. We shall see. But then everything, when we get back, we're going to, Mike and I next Thursday, a week from today, are going down to Southern California for 4 days to Ohana Fest, which is Eddie Vedder's music festival. It's 3 days. So we're going to drive down on Thursday. It's Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we drive back on Monday. And then the bed flipping starts. And I'm so excited. I can't wait. This time of the season, I just want the fresh start, and I'm really looking forward to that. So, and it actually will be less hard than usual to flip these beds, because normally they're really packed full of flowers, but they just aren't this year. It's been such a hard year. So I am ready to close the door on the 2025 season and get planted for 2026. One more note, the peonies that I showed you in the last video at home, they hadn't started really dying back yet for me to cut them back. Still, I was thinking last night when I was looking at them, maybe I should go ahead and cut them back. Then this morning when I walked out there, they're shredded to the ground. I'll pop in some video here. The rats got them overnight and shredded everything, all the stems. The only, it sucks. The peonies will be fine. They're perennials. They'll come back next spring. But the joke's on the rats, because peonies are highly toxic. Now, it won't necessarily kill them, but it will make them very, very, very sick. So hopefully they'll learn their lesson, since they're so smart. Yeah, but since they can't get to the vegetables, they are tearing up anything else that's out there. And I've already seen one tunnel dug underneath the beds, one of the beds, but they can't get in because there's hardwood cloth under there. So they're desperate, especially since I'm only feeding the chickens now once a day in the morning, and there's no other feed out there. So I don't know. I get to the point sometimes where I'm like, should I just leave buckets of greens and stuff out for them? Would that be the way? Would they, since they're going to be there anyway and nothing is working, would that be the way? Just go ahead and feed them? I don't know. That sounds ridiculous. I just don't know what to do anymore, guys. Hopefully the cages will continue to work and I'll actually have a fall harvest. Okay, let me start moving wood chips. Okay, so pretty much done with the wood chips. There's a tiny bit left, and I will probably use those once we flip beds. I might just put them in some buckets and set them aside. But what we got done, there's cardboard down here and a thick layer of wood chips. This pathway gets so nasty overgrown with thistles, so this is great. And we did that here earlier this year, and it's pretty effective. I mean, they pop up in some places, but not too bad. And before we leave this area, just really quick check. Yeah, see how... Oh, look how much of the stems have been stripped by the rodents. I just don't know if these are going to be ready by Monday or Tuesday. I really hope. I really hope. These are white and they'd be perfect for the wedding. I mean, they're going to be gorgeous. There's a lot of them here, but just waiting. Okay, so that's the mums. And then the sweet peas, we are going to, when we do bed flips, we'll come and cut all of these down. And actually what I'm going to do is, see, this has all been cut down back here. Dylan cut all that down. I'm actually going to lay the sweet peas down, take them all off of this trellis and lay them flat back here, because some of those seeds, and I'll probably cover it with a bit of soil, some of those seeds will come up and they'll grow up this fence. And so, yeah, we got to get rid of this horrible weed. But this is for another time. So also got this pathway done, pulled the landscape fabric off of this bed. And now that we don't have overgrown beds anymore, that first season it was all grass and it was really hard to control. I'm not using landscape fabric anymore. The rodents like to hide under it. The slugs like to hide under it. It's just better to not have it down. So I pulled this up. This bed is pretty empty and nothing has grown in it this year because everything got eaten. I planted a bunch of stuff, but nothing was able to grow because it got eaten. So what we'll do when we go to flip beds is we will fork it. It feels pretty soft. We will fork this bed, add a whole ton of gypsum and a bit of a topping of compost, and it'll be ready for planting. And I think this irrigation will pull up as well. I think all the irrigation is going to get pulled up because it's all like 3 years old at this point. I have plenty. And there's so many tiny pinholes in the irrigation. It's just better to go ahead and pull it all up and start fresh. So then we also redid this pathway. Now this is a nice thick layer of wood chips. It was getting very thin and weeds were starting to come through. So now we are all set here, which is great. When I bent over some of the, like a seed pod from the chocolate lace flower went down my shirt, and everything is so prickly right now. These are very prickly, not like thorny prickly, but like itchy prickly. When we cut these down, we're going to take a hedge trimmer to the base, and I'm going to lay them along this fence line. And again, they'll come up, a huge number of them will come up, and they will crowd out a lot of this funky thistle stuff. So I'm going to use it as like living mulch, but with tons of seeds. And then we'll plant, fresh. So going into harvesting for the wedding this coming Monday evening, I'll have Lisianthus, Amimagus, chocolate lace flower, zinnias, marigolds, which I'm actually not going to use for the wedding. They don't work with the palette. Gorgeous millet. These are for some of the bigger arrangements. And there's a handful of snapdragons down there, but I don't think those are going to be enough. Not as much as I'd wanted from the farm. If those mums come, that will be clutch. That will help tremendously. If not, I'm going to have to buy more focals than I want to at the flower mart. But it is what it is. The good news is I don't need super long stems because all of these are small vase arrangements for tables and stuff, shallow vases. And so I don't need long stems. So all of these little summer orange Lisianthus, even though they're too short for like market bouquets, they'll be great for in the vase. And then the Corelli pink is much taller stems. But yeah, so they'll still work. And we have more buds coming along. So maybe by Monday, or at the latest Tuesday morning, I need to start building on Tuesday, they'll be more bloomed out. All right, guys, that's going to be it for me today. It looks like rain is moving in. I know it's around us, but we're not supposed to get any of it. There's a tropical storm off the coast, and we're just getting kind of like the fingers of it. That's mostly just bringing, unfortunately, some dry lightning and not much in the way of rain. Okay, thanks again for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden. And tomorrow, I'm not sure what is on tap. I probably will be moving more compost at home. And I think we're going to start rendering down that beeswax, the cappings from harvesting the honey, so we can see how that process goes. Thanks again for hanging out. I hope you have a wonderful time in your garden, and I will see you in the next one. P.S. I'm attaching a little bit of footage here at the end, just a couple of seconds, of a beautiful visitor that I'm super excited I found at the farm. If you are squeamish or unhappy with snakes, please do not watch this part. But it is a California king snake, a gorgeous, gorgeous creature. We were lifting all the cardboard and it was right underneath. I definitely scared it. I felt bad, and I'm sure it was blinding because the sun was shining on it after it had been hiding under all the cardboard. It did try to strike at me a couple times, so I clearly scared it. It's not a huge snake, but it is definitely big enough to take some of the small mice that are in the field there. So I'm thrilled that it's living there. I covered it back up with some cardboard. Hopefully it will stick around. So if you are interested in seeing a really beautiful snake, you can watch this. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Bye.